The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has officially broken the internet in more ways than one, breaking people's expectations of what you can expect in a sequel and follow-up, but also breaking people mentally to attack others that are on quote unquote the same side. And yes, I'm doing the air quotes there. So we're going to talk about that and a little bit more, and the mystery surrounding The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and the engine that it's running on now. That information is a little bit older, but it's also interesting. But before we get into anything here, guys, make sure you check out the description below. We are going to be having a brand new Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch OLED giveaway. We just gave away the last one. That one is shipped out to the winner. Shout outs to KCP for that one. And we will be giving away another one. So all you got to do is just make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and be on the lookout for an updated post on the community page once we get everything situated. I am talking with the person with the Switch OLED giveaway. Once we get everything situated, I will have the next post up so you can enter in to win. Now let's go ahead and jump right back into this, because I have an incredible friend on Twitter and also on YouTube. This guy's awesome. His name is Mr. Pio. A lot of you guys know him. He's actually a pretty popular content creator on Twitter. Has over 57,000 followers. One of my favorite PlayStation-centric content creators. He does reviews. Make sure you guys check out his YouTube channel. It's fantastic. He's over there in Sweden. The guy does a phenomenal job on his PlayStation reviews, third-party games, first-party games, but he also plays other stuff. He has a PC. He has a Nintendo Switch. The guy loves PlayStation, which is great. I love that enthusiasm for whatever you're into, but he also likes certain big Nintendo games and stuff like that. So with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom coming out, Mr. Pio put up a post talking about how he thinks the game looks great and he's having fun simply playing the game. Now, that's a normal post. A lot of people are doing the same, but for some reason with this game, maybe because of the review scores, maybe because of whatever it is, the fact that Legend of Zelda is as big as it is and it kind of overshadows other things, certain hardcore fans of Xbox and PlayStation don't like that, and it's absolutely broken some of them mentally. We've covered some of these guys that absolutely might have mental disorders. Now look, I'm not a doctor or anything, I can't diagnose it, but this is absolutely incredibly strange behavior for probably adults in their 20s, 30s, or maybe even older to go out there and be attacking people for simply posting positive things about a game that they like. It goes beyond what some people need to be doing. So shout out to my man Mr. Pio, once again, who's a big PlayStation fan, PlayStation centric, and he says this: Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has broken people. Out of every person alive, how do I get this? Now I'm gonna show you guys the message here, and let's read it. It says, "You Nintendo fanboys disgust me. Instead of demanding more from Nintendo, you decide to something and something. This is why I love PlayStation. Our fan base have standards, unlike you Nintendo bleep boys." Now, I find this statement to be incredibly stupid. Like, it's like stupid on like the scale of 1 to 10. It's like a 15 or something.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Standards for video games. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in the media was reviewed at the highest quality standard. So obviously people like this have mental problems. This is a mental disease. If you're going to not even take 5 seconds to research Mr. Pio and see his tweets and how a lot of it is all about PlayStation. Heck, his bio even says hype, news, and updates, fire, love PlayStation, gaming, and lifting heavy. So it's not even really Nintendo focused in his bio or anything like that. There's nothing on that, but this person was so angry about someone enjoying The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom that he rushed to his DMs. It seems like it's a DM message. He rushed to his DMs to call him names, to call him a fanboy for simply posting that he thinks the game looks good. This is what's happening to people out there. breaking records and breaking minds, because what? PlayStation 5 hasn't had a high, I would say, selling or high reviewed game in about a half a year plus now, right? The last time that we got something was, I think it was God of War Ragnarok. That was the last major title on the scale of a Zelda or something like that that PlayStation fans were enjoying. If there was some other big title, like let's say Resistance or let's just say Killzone, that came out a month or so ago, I doubt this message would even be posted because people would enjoy playing a game. But it seems like some of these hardcore PlayStation fans are done with God of War. Obviously, Forspoken was a flop. VR 2 or PSVR 2 seems to be a flop as well. Sony's not posting any sales numbers. People aren't talking about it as much. So this is what they do instead. There were some other big third-party games. There was Hogwarts, but that was a while ago. And that's not, in terms of quality or reviews, that's not as high as Zelda. So yeah, seems like there's some people with a lot of free time on their hands that you would go to Mr. Pio, like he says, out of anyone to call him a Nintendo fanboy. That's why I say this name calling and all this nonsense online with people that you don't even know is absolutely ridiculous. These people were not raised right. There's something wrong with you if you're willing to do this to a complete stranger when they did absolutely nothing to you but post about how good they think a game looks or how good they think a game is. Like, I've never done this, and I don't know why people would do something like this. There's something wrong. You were not raised right. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Zelda has broken the minds of people out there. But speaking of breaking things when it comes to The Legend of Zelda, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is smashing, crushing, and breaking more records left and right. Now, recently on the channel, we did talk about the UK and how it did considerably better than The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And it's breaking records there, biggest Zelda launch of all time, even outselling the total number already in the first few days of games like The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and Skyward Sword. And it doesn't seem like it's slowing down because now we have more sales numbers out of a region that does really well when it comes to Nintendo, and that is France. So shout outs to Oscar Lemaire on Twitter and also Benji Sales on Twitter, because they had this to say: The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has had the biggest Nintendo launch ever in France, selling 500,000 physical copies at launch. That's right, bigger than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. As more numbers come in, this launch will become even more impressive. Huge global opening incoming. I don't want to say I told you so, and I'm not going to do that here. But what I will say is that The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is going to outsell The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, I got a lot of pushback and resistance, whether it was the Spawncast or other people making vids or people telling me, no, Breath of the Wild, it was such a big game and it launched with the system and it had so many years. I'm telling you right now, Nintendo played this one masterfully. But what they did is that they didn't just bore you for years and years and years with information. They waited and then they info drop bombed you at the very end to build the peak amount of hype. Now, the reviews are coming in, and I said this before and I'll say it again, the reviews are always going to be a very good indicator of how something can go with a major franchise. You get those big franchises out there, that's one thing to sell them, but if you have the reviews to back it up, it can push the game even higher than what you would expect. And I don't think anybody expected Tears of the Kingdom to outsell in any region Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, considering Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the biggest launch ever for an exclusive and did over 10 million units in its first weekend. It looks like Tears of the Kingdom could come close to that. Now, we don't know if it's going to surpass it. I don't think it surpasses it, but it could come close within a couple million or so. And we already have a bigger launch in France when it comes down to it. So that is the benefit of having a franchise that reviews exceptionally well and consumers have confidence about the product. And Tears of the Kingdom, obviously the highest rated game of the year, one of the highest rated games of all time, and actually the highest rated game on OpenCritic since 2013. So this game's going to continue doing well. It's going to continue smashing sales records, and Nintendo's going to continue selling it even on the next Switch via backwards compatibility, enhanced patch, separate version, whatever the case. this is. They're gonna keep selling this game. They didn't work 6 years on it for it to die in about a year or two when the next Switch comes out. They're absolutely gonna transition this baby over and have people play it more. And I talked about this because Nintendo might have already shown the next gen version or the next Switch version of the game based on the Digital Foundry analysis, where they said that some of the graphics don't quite match up to what we saw in the final product here. So maybe that was on a Switch Pro, maybe that was on something else. Either way, it doesn't matter for right now. All that matters is that right now, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is absolutely killing it, and more people are sharing their creations and having fun, and this game is going to have massive sales numbers. Expect it to hit 50% plus of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sales fairly soon here, and by Christmas we could be saying, oh snap, this game really is going to threaten or outsell Breath of the Wild. I really think it's going to be that big, especially around Christmas time, as more people pick up Switches and we find out exactly what Nintendo's plans are going to be. We even saw a jump in the UK that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is back into the top like 20 or so. I'll have that up for you guys as well. So yeah, Legend of Zelda is in once again. It's back, bigger and better than ever. And heck, I want to finish this video so I can go play some more. But speaking of playing a little bit more, when you're playing The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, did you notice anything different with the game? Did you notice that maybe it moves a bit differently, or there's different stuff that's going on with there outside of the new powers? Well, no, not really. Once I got into the game, it felt familiar, but then there's a bunch of new things. However, the game isn't quite the same as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, apparently with its engine. Now, this kind of threw me for a loop. I had no idea what was going on, and I'm like, wait, what? And Oatmeal Dome, who's a noted hacker, he looks into the engines, into the things, and talks about this different type of stuff, way more intelligent than I am when it comes to this stuff. He said this about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in a surprising twist. It appears Tears of the Kingdom is actually built on the engine used by Nintendo Switch Sports and Splatoon 3! Exclamation mark, question mark. I was not expecting this, and I don't think anybody was expecting that. Like, what? Nintendo Switch Sports and Splatoon 3? That's the engine? I thought that the engine was just built upon what they used in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which was also used for Ring Fit Adventure. Very interesting here. Now, there's more to this story. For people just playing the game, this doesn't mean anything, but in terms of the game's internals, it looks quite different compared to Breath of the Wild. I wonder if Tears of the Kingdom was the reason that the engine was built, and the Nintendo Switch Sports plus Splatoon 3 just happened to come out first. The best name we have for this engine is Module System. So there you go, man. Very interesting to see that it's built upon Splatoon 3 and also Nintendo Switch Sports engines. Now, I never really made the connection to any of those games, and I think it kind of goes to show you how adaptable and how flexible this crazy Nintendo engine is. And Nintendo, they are tight-lipped about this stuff. Unless they're using an engine that's outsourced like Unreal Engine 4 or Unity or something like that, you really don't hear about it. And even with something like Fire Emblem Engage, which uses Unity, Nintendo didn't say anything. Or I think one of the Yoshi's Woolly World uses Unreal Engine. Nintendo doesn't really talk about the engines or anything or give any details on that. So this is interesting information to find out. I could have swore they probably just took Breath of the Wild engine, same as Ring Fit Adventure, you know, those two games, and just said, okay, let's just build upon this. But it seems like they ported it over, or they constructed a new one to build it upon in there. So very crazy. This is definitely above my head when it comes to what I know about this stuff, because I have very limited experience. But it's interesting nonetheless that the game doesn't use the same engine that was built upon it. And I stated how they used a different engine than Breath of the Wild, and it's crazy. Now, we do know that a lot of Nintendo games share engines. We do know that. Once again, Breath of the Wild, Ring Fit Adventure, Nintendo has done that before, and that makes sense. Use your own in-house engines, you don't have to pay the licensing fees, which would rack up probably in the millions of dollars to use Unreal Engine 4, or to use Unity, or to use something else that's out there. Nintendo's been using their in-house engines, and they've had great success with that, and I continue to see them doing that even going into next gen. Nintendo's engines are very good. Look at Tears of the Kingdom. The fact that this game does not have way more bugs and glitches and problems than what you would see in most of these open-ended AAA type of games. Goes to show you how good that engine can be for what they're doing. I just think that in order for things to kind of take it up just a notch or so, when Nintendo gets that next system out that's a bit more powerful, I don't think the graphics are going to change largely. I just think that they're going to run smoother. It's going to obviously be higher resolution, but I don't think they're going to change up things too much. I think they want to keep that flow and the game development. That's what these engines do. You can keep that game development tight, you can keep that flow going, you can keep that continuity, and you can really just build your games the way that you want to without risking to have to spend millions in terms of licensing fees, and also you are comfortable with what you're already using. And that's the biggest thing with Nintendo, man. They want to get software out. They want to get software done. Heck, I think that they spent a little bit too long, or I bet they would even tell you that they spent way too long with Tears of the Kingdom. But in order to build this type of masterpiece that didn't launch in a broken and buggy state, I think that type of time was needed. But other games like Splatoon or other games like Nintendo Switch Sports can be built to where there's consistent software. So this is good to see. It's good to see that Nintendo's experimenting, good to see that they're kind of upgrading and doing different things, and I can't wait to hear more about some other games that are coming out, like let's say Metroid Prime 4 and what engine that's built on, or some of the other big titles that they will have, Pikmin 4 and other games. It's going to be crazy to see some of this other stuff updated from Oatmeal Dome and others with that type of knowledge. But what do you guys think about all this when it comes to Nintendo, Tears of the Kingdom? What's going on there? Let me know in the comment section, and check out our other Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom videos and Nintendo Switch topics, RPG stuff. We have it all right here on screen for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, like, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.